Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of Adolescence, a channel on lessons about adolescence. I'm your host, Sam. I'm here with today.
Jaden Wu,
Jaden, what grade are you?
13.
Grade 13. Jaden is a graduated student. Jaden, do you know what we're going to be talking about today?
Today, we will be talking about
Post-secondary. So, this is the final episode of Adolescence. It's the conclusion, just because I thought this is a very important topic, and why not get someone with the most experience out of everyone I know. So, obviously, Jaden, you have graduated. You graduated last year in 2022. I guess the first question for you is just, how is life outside of high school? Is it what you thought it'd be? Is it what you didn't think it would be? What's different? What's similar? And just overall, your experience.
Alrighty. First, I'd like to start off by saying, so right now I am a first year at, well, not right now, but I'm first year at SFU. And so to brief it all up, summarize it, I think when I was in high school, going into university, I was definitely expecting a big shift or change in my life, but I do think it was a little underwhelming. But that's not necessarily in a bad way as well. Um, it's it's not as bad as it seems, so it's a good thing, I guess. It's not the hardest transition, and it's not the scary. I thought it would be scary, but it wasn't, which is good.
Okay. I guess in terms of transitioning, obviously I'm graduating this summer, and I think a lot of people that are watching this will also be graduating. So if you could give us a piece of advice in terms of how we can manage and kind of understand what changes are going to happen, what's going to change in our lives, and etc. Like, what's a piece of advice or pieces of advice you'd give to us?
Alrighty. So right off the bat, there's nothing wrong with prepping for the future and getting ready for that next chapter into your life. But one thing I want to emphasize is to live in the moment as well. So what I mean by that is so you're gonna be graduating in a month or so, and my number one advice to you and to any other future graduates listening is to spend your time you have left in high school very wisely, because if you're just gonna be worrying so much about the future, then you're not gonna be able to enjoy it, and it's something that can definitely be easily taken advantage of, and it's like a big crucial pivotal moment in your life.
You just reminded me that I'm graduating in a month, but I guess for towards more of the younger kids, in terms of whoever may be watching this, that is kind of approaching to think about post-secondary, or approaching the status that, well, I'm gonna have to think about my major, what I want to do after high school, my life after high school. For me personally, I'm still at a point where I don't necessarily know what I want to do with my life, and I think that's okay. I think it's important to know that not everything can just be figured out like this. Like, for example, you're not going to figure out what you want to do for the next 30 years of your life in the last year of high school. And I think that's really important for you guys to understand, particularly for those who grew up in Asian households. Like, I think we're very pressured by our parents. I was very pressured by my parents to kind of set a direct career path and go down that career path and live that life and just get a job, graduate, get a job, blah, blah, blah. And I guess in terms of for you, what did you find helped you, guiding you through that journey, kind of figuring out what you wanted to do? And if you couldn't figure out what you wanted to do, what was your thought process in kind of knowing that this isn't the end of the world? Just a word of advice.
So yeah, me too, definitely. I near my latter years of high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do post secondary, and it was a very big debate in my head. And like you mentioned with the Asian stereotypes, they want Asian parents want you to go to school and everything, and which obviously it's not a bad thing, but yeah, I do think that whole system is a bit overrated, and especially in this day and age where I don't know, there's lots of successful people out there that didn't even go to school, and I'm not saying drop out of school or anything, but I'm saying there's more than one pathway to success. And I think for me, even now, I don't know necessarily what I want to do, but one of the things that helped me the most is my peers and people older than me. They assure me that this is something that literally everybody like goes through. And like even one of my teachers from last year, Mr. Carroll, shout out. I was talking with him, and he was telling me how like growing up, he was like, yeah, there's no way in hell I will ever become a teacher. Like, I hate that. And he studied like bio, and like he was like a restaurant manager for like hella amount of years, but then like he ended up right back in school. So then, but I mean, he says that it was like a long and like uncertain journey, but like in the end, it was worth it. So yeah, like don't stress. Don't stress.
Like, like I struggle with it even now. Like, kind of being open to the fact that there are multiple ways that you can live your life. I think there's like a set formula for what's considered successful and what's considered normal, and I feel like people fall into the pressure of that and kind of, even myself, like it wasn't necessarily my first choice to go to university and to continue school after high school, but obviously the most important thing for whoever's struggling with that or worried about that or anxious about that is to keep to open to the fact that your life is different, and that everything you do is not going to be aligned with everything other people do, even to your siblings, to your parents, like whatever it is. Like, contrastingly to my brother figured out what he wanted to do in his career very early on, like 9th, 10th grade. He's like, I'm going to go to med school, I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. And he's currently doing that. And there is nothing wrong with that at all. But there's also nothing wrong with kind of being like me and not really knowing what to do, but just living life day by day and step by step and goal by goal. Yeah. Okay. In terms of a gap year, obviously, a gap year is a thing a lot of high school students consider after they want to travel, they want to work, they want to get money, they want to experience their life differently than in a school setting. In terms of a gap year, what would you say are pros? What would you say are cons? And just give me your general input on what, if you were going to talk to someone considering a gap year, what you would say to them.
Alrighty. So for some context for the viewers, I went to school for my first semester, and then I took my second semester off. And I'd like to start off by saying it was one of the best decisions of my life, okay? Now let me expand on that a little bit, okay? So, for those of you wanting to take a gap year, like I it's completely valid and I understand. And it's completely normal too. Like a lot of people do it, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with it too. But for me, I think if you are gonna take a gap, you just gotta make sure that you're doing something with your life. You don't want to be taking a gap year and just
So have a direction.
yeah
Don't
yeah
be
yeah
direct.
yeah. You don't necessarily have to, like, it's not like your career goal or anything,
Yeah,
but like just work part time or something, or like get involved in the community somehow. Just don't
Like ultimate frisbee coach.
exactly, and maybe we'll expand on that later. But um yeah, cuz I mean, I do like a lot of people take gap years because they don't know what they want to do for school, and like cuz school is not cheap obviously, so then it is honestly like a pretty smart, a financially smart decision to take a gap year, make money, and then think about what you want to do. And it's also good to like try out different jobs, see like if anything sparks your interest, learn hobbies. I don't know, like I know a lot of people that they took off a year and like they learned how to code or something like that. But sorry about that. But yeah, for me, so the reason that I took a gap semester was that I was too burnt out for my first semester, and I know that kind of contradicts what I said in the start about the transition not being as bad as I said, but that was just more so, like it was like totally on me. Like I worked like 5 days a week with like 4 classes, and like it was just too much for me, and like I like caused my own downfall pretty much. And I told myself I was gonna take the semester off, just work. And I was also very fortunate enough to I was got to travel to like lots of different places, and it was genuinely like such a good time for me, and like it gave me time to like recollect my mentality, I guess. And now I'm like looking forward to September again, starting strong. And so yeah, I think gap semesters are very beneficial if you have, like you said, like you have a direction.
Jenny, you mentioned that like when you first went to school, you had a hard time kind of balancing, from what I've heard, balancing your school life with your outside life, whether that being work or your personal life, I guess. Now you've gone through it, you've experienced it, you've experienced the hardships of that. Like, how do you think us as students can strike a equal and a healthy balance between our personal lives and the life outside of school, along with our studies and studying? Because I think even in high school, particularly to the IB students, finding a balance and making sure that all aspects of your life are fulfilled. Like as much as I need to study and pursue, like I need to meet new people, I need to work on my social interaction skills, I need to make new friends. How do you think we can strike that balance? And what do you think, especially as a university student, you can do to maintain that balance?
Oh boy, that is a loaded question. So balance. So yeah. So with school and friends, I think it is often difficult to maintain your same friendships that you have in high school if you are going to like a post secondary school, and like a lot of your high school friends aren't following with you to that school. But it's not a bad thing too. It's could be good. And you'll make lots of new friends too. And the beauty of making new friends at your school is that it'll be a lot easier to find balance with them in a sense, I guess, like because it also depends on like what school you go to, I guess, because like something like UBC, like you're on campus and like you're really in that environment where like I guarantee you'll have like plenty of time to like party, like and like you like study with friends like until as late as you want pretty much. But like if you're going to like a commute school, it does get a little bit more difficult as it is a commute school. But it really comes down to you and how much effort you put into these friendships or relationships or whatever it may be. Like even you know like hanging out every day and like that kind of stuff, like the relationship that you keep within high school is most likely not going to carry over. So it's a sad it's a sad thing to accept, but it's realistic, and like I said, it's not necessarily a bad thing. But I don't know, for me, like even with like you and other like friends that are like graduating this year instead of last year, like even though we didn't get to like meet each other or talk to each other as often as you did last year, like it's nice because like when we do hang out, it's like nothing ever happened, as cheesy as it may be, But yeah, just like with the balance, like yeah, it's really just comes down to you and how much effort you put in, I guess.
No, like I 1,000,000% agree. Like I haven't gone through obviously the experiences you have gone through, but as a high school student, I figured that what you decide to put emphasis on is up to you, and that is there is no one that can tell you differently. If you're someone that prefers to study and is very goal oriented, and I think that's completely up to you. And if that's what you want to provide and put the most of your energy into, there's no issue with that. For me personally, I put more emphasis on the relationships I nurtured and like the experiences I had in high school, just because I knew it wouldn't come again, rather than my studies. And I obviously saw a great drop off as a result of that. And I'm a believer in whatever you put in, you get out of it. And there are some cons to that, but it's up to you. And I think it's very important to realize not to fall. Again, a lot of this is to fall under the pressure of being like other people or wanting to do what most people do, but rather finding and taking the time to find what you would want to do and what works for you and what balance works for you. I think that's probably the most important part for me. Moving on, we're going to jump back into high school and going into university. Applications are a huge part of a grade 12 or a senior's life. And obviously, we've both gone through that hell experience. Mm-hmm. I guess, is there anything you regret from that? There's a lot of things I regret from that experience, and things you would change, and things that you liked, and things, a word of advice, I guess, overall, in that entire application process. You want me to start? I can start. Okay. So for me, I wish that I started earlier. And I also wish that, I wish I cared more. And now this is personally to me, obviously, just because I was arrogant enough to think that with my grades that I was able to kind of just do what I want, get into what I want. Just because I didn't set my goals too high. I wasn't looking to go to an Ivy League school. My goal was UBC. I wanted to study Sauder, which is a business school. I ultimately ended up not being able to get into that, and I got into my second choice as well. But I also think that's a reflection of me. Just a word of advice is, I want y'all to understand how big this is. At the time, it may not seem like it. At the time, you would want to prioritize maybe hanging out with a friend or watching a movie or watching a YouTube video rather than searching up majors, searching up scholarships, searching up potential application questions and what you would want to write for that, and putting effort into your application. But just to realize that this decision, and just make sure that you're not regretting anything. Like, for example, like I am personally regretting right now. I wished that I had started my UBC personal profile way earlier than I did start it. I also wished I had put the effort in to do a lot more scholarships, and then when I did write the scholarships, that I would rewrite them, look at them, review them, make sure that they're an accurate depiction of who I am and something that I'm proud of. Because now looking back at them, I wish I could have done a lot better. I could have talked about something different, you know. But yeah, just the biggest advice for anyone that's going through that application period is just to realize that this is a very, 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 very big pivotal moment in the future of your life, and just to not regret anything. I guess that's the only word of advice I would give.
Yes, I agree. Like he couldn't have explained it any better. Like yeah, you just gotta get on that, and you cannot push it back. Like, it is genuinely like, it will determine like your life. like I don't want to like make it sound scary or anything, but it is not. Yeah, it is not something to be taken lightly. And you know, like Sam says, you might want to hang out with your friends, go watch a movie, go watch a YouTube video, whatever. But as we mentioned earlier, there is a balance that you must find, and obviously it is very fun, but you know, the way that I see it is, like, honestly, like that time of like doing your applications isn't really like too long of time, and like
Couple months max.
yeah, so like for you future grads, just like really just power through that, and like towards the end of the year, like it will be like smooth sailing, unless you're an IB. But but yeah, like for me, so I only applied to SFU and UBC, and I actually did not do any of my applications until like the day before, or like even I think it might have been day of that it was due, I think. And I'm telling you, I pushed it like to the max. Like I was procrastinate, and like you said, it was largely due to imbalance of social and academic lifestyle, I think. But I'm not saying I don't regret any of those memories made, but it is
In hindsight, that you could have
I
set a clearer line. And
yeah,
of
like
done.
I rushed through it like big time. So in all honesty, I don't even know how I got into SFU. like for UBC, I get it, because everyone my grad year kind of got scammed. So, but yeah, that's done and dusted. So I've moved on from that, and I'm honestly glad that I went to SFU. It's a different change of pace from what I was expecting, which is nice. I guess it kind of spices up life a bit. But yeah, don't procrastinate and get on that. In fact, like if you're in like grade 11 now, start researching. And like another thing that Sam mentioned earlier, scholarships. Guys.
I cannot put emphasis. Like, you guys think there may be 3-4 scholarships. The amount of scholarships there are that you can apply for, that you can potentially win, is insane. The amount of financial freedom it can give you, like, it can give you a cushion, it can help your parents out, it can help you out, and I want you to get on that as early as you can. Trust me. And if you guys have any doubt, it's like, I'm not good enough, trust me, apply. Trust me.
So there's like the Langley School District. For all my Langley folks, there's like the Langley School District scholarship that, I'm not gonna lie, bro, everyone and their mother gets it. It's like an easy $1,000. Like I've seen just about everybody get the scholarship. But guess what? I didn't. You know why? Because I never applied for it. Because I'm stupid and I procrastinated. And you know what? You know what else? There's also scholarships for like a bunch of the feeder schools all around, like Lynn Fripps, Yorkson Creek, Richard Bulpit. They all offer these scholarships, and they're like, I'm telling you, bro, like they're easy. They're not easy, but it's like not much effort to apply, and like yeah, and like there's way more out there that you can apply for, and yeah, 100%. So yeah, for grade 11s, grade 10s, even like start researching now, like get on that, and like yeah, like, and research, like different schools or programs you might want to look into, and they're like prerequisites, so you can like take the classes necessary for it. And another, actually, just to quickly add on, this is kind of like separate, but speaking of like classes to take and stuff, like like I know a lot of people, like, they might like not take like two sciences, or like an advanced math, because like they're, oh yeah, like I know for sure like I'm not gonna, but I think it's sometimes pretty good to,
You never know.
yeah, because you never know.
Never
You
know.
genuinely never know. And
Never
like
know.
you might think you're 100% certain, but again, you never know.
Damn. Okay. Like, I'm gonna link back to regret, because I think a lot of graduates have a lot of regrets about a lot of different things. But for you specifically, after you've left high school, I guess, what are some regrets that you have about your experience in high school? Some things that you wish you would have changed or done differently. Like, just overall, just things you would do differently.
So I think, to sum it up in one word, it would be senioritis. And let me expand on that a little bit, okay? Grade 12 was a year of many things, and like my senioritis got to me big time. I was terminally ill from that. Like, I had many absences, I'll just say that. But and the reason why I regret that is because high school, like the environment and culture of high school, is honestly something, it is one of a kind, and you, as sad as it may sound, you won't find it anywhere else. So I think the biggest thing that I find regretting is not like, I've had so much, like, I had all this opportunity to go to school and go to class, but instead I decided to stay home and sleep in. And like, it's just like, I know, like, it's like sleeping just sounds so much better, but believe me, in hindsight, like, just like being in a classroom, like, just that environment, even with like a bunch of people like that you don't really know, but like you still know them because they go to your school, and like, a lot of them, like, they've been with you since like middle school, maybe even elementary school. But you realize that after high school, there's a good chance you'll never like speak to them ever again. Like, they're just like, because in high school, like, they're in your life, and you just don't really take them for granted. Like, even though like some might annoy you or whatever, but like,
only time in your life where you see someone every day, but you don't talk to them.
yeah, exactly. And like, I don't know, like, they're just still part of your life though. So like, I think if I could give you youngins out there a piece of advice, it'd be to get involved in school, in school community, and like, if your school has like leadership, if you go to Mountain, do rec leadership, it will change your life. And yeah, just go to school, because school is cool.
There's a lot you said, a lot to unpack. I think, in terms of senioritis and skipping school, like, Jaden's 100% right. Like, even now, I haven't even graduated, and I have a lot of absences. And one thing I'll say about absences and skipping classes, there's people that do it, people that don't. But the people that do it, I guarantee you, it was a habit thing. For me, it started in 11th grade. I thought skipping a couple classes when I was tired or I needed to study would be okay, and that kind of developed into a thing of, I don't need to go to my useless classes. I only need to go to my IB classes. I was IB certificate, so I had a couple IB classes, a couple regular classes, and I would almost never go to my regular classes because I'm like, they're not IB. They don't require that much attention, and it's something that you build, and it's also a bad habit that can carry on. I'm very worried about my university life and how much school I will skip, but it's something I'm working on and something that you build on. So stop that habit when you're young, okay? Number 2 is about getting involved in your school community. Like, I couldn't agree with you more. As someone that has been involved and has kind of participated in a lot of different communities around my life, the amount of happiness that can bring you, knowing that you're positively influencing those around you, and 2 is that you're leaving almost an imprint of yourself on the community you have. Obviously, Jaden, you did rec leadership. I wasn't able to do rec leadership, but I participated on the basketball team. I did a bunch of other stuff. And for me, it kind of made school more enjoyable because now I'm getting to know more people. Now I'm getting to learn more things, getting to know more teachers. And now every time I go through the hallways, there's a new face I can talk to. And there's no con about meeting new people. It teaches you a lot about yourself. It teaches you a lot about people, social interactions. And I think it also prepares you for life outside of high school when these opportunities aren't necessarily given right in front of you and that you have to go and approach it yourself. So yeah, I think that's huge. I think that's absolutely huge. Okay, to end us off, you can totally expand.
Alright, yeah. So just to expand a little bit more and getting involved in the community, like I do think it's honestly like such a life changing thing. Like, and I don't want to like overhype it necessarily, but like for me, like COVID and before, like I was honestly like a pretty reserved and quiet kid. But
You quiet? There ain't no.
yeah, no, it's crazy. But yeah, it's my senior year. Like I like impulsively, like I just asked, like I was like, oh shoot, like can I join rec? And like, luckily Mr. Weiss let me in, and man, like it changed my life, man. Like getting involved in the school community, and like Sam said, like just like here's the thing: if you're walking around school and like you have no friends, that's it's not a good it's not gonna be a good time. Which I like, you know, like I get that. Like obviously that's not a good time, but like I'm telling you, like once you like start to meet a lot of new people, get to know the teachers, like going to school is like fun. Like going down the halls, like you just say hi to people that you know, and like, and you know, also athletics. I know, like, you know, some people may not be athletic, but you know what? Sometimes it's worth trying out. Last year, I had the privilege of playing on 3 different sports teams, and
3?
yeah, I got to play volleyball, badminton. Yeah, I was, and ultimate frisbee MVP, volleyball most improved player, and also badminton. We brought home a banner, and we went to Province.
I think I think right now we're focusing so much on like the extrovert stream, so like rec leadership, athletics. But when we say get involved with the school community, we all know your personality may differ depending on who you are and what you like and what you're interested in, what you're comfortable in. We're not saying if you're a really reserved, quiet, introverted person to go join rec leadership and do all that. We're saying get involved in any way you can. You want to join a local club, you want to make your own club, you want to meet new people, you want to talk to your teachers about different things. That's what we mean by getting involved. Getting involved doesn't need to be this big thing. It could be the smallest thing of interacting with your teachers. And I think that's so huge. I think teachers are, as much as we hate to say it, hate to admit it, they are such influential people in our lives, and they have so much insight and so much wisdom that they can provide us as students because they went through that. And they went through all the struggles we're going through. Yeah.
Yes, and like, you know, so yeah, like you, like rec leadership itself might not be for you, but one thing you can do to get involved in the school community is like, one of the biggest things I think is like something silly, like participating in spirit weeks or something like that. Because like that makes a difference. And like if you're watching like a pep rally, like don't just sit there, you know, clap, cheer, be loud, be seen. And I know it might, like for a lot of you it's like, you know, scary, embarrassing, but looking back, yeah, try it. And like looking back on it, you know, like it's a happy moment rather than an embarrassing one.
Okay. So now as we wrap up, I do this thing at the end of my episodes where we do a recap of what we talked about. So we're going to each go and we're going to each say what we think is the most important takeaway of this entire video. So if someone just skipped the 26 minutes that we've been recording and went to this last end segment, what we would want them to take away. So for me is, to put it simply, to take initiative. And that could be applied to everything we talk about. Take initiative with your future. Take the initiative to think about what you want to do. Think about what's right for you. Take the initiative to get involved with your school. Take the initiative to meet new people, to discover more about yourself, as cliche and as corny as that is, to learn more about yourself, what you like, what you don't like, what you want to do, what you don't want to do. And yeah, just to take initiative.
Okay, for me, I guess if I had to sum this all up, my takeaway would be live your life day by day. I don't know if that really makes sense, but yeah, just, you know, like really appreciate every day you have in high school and use its productivity to the max, I guess, you know, whether that be socially or academically, could be both. Be productive.
For sure. All right, thank you so much, Jaden, for tonight. Thank y'all for watching Adolescence. This is the last episode in this series of episodes. I really appreciate for those who have watched all of them and even watched to the end of this video. We hope that we learned something. We hope that you took something away. But yeah, I've been Sam. This has been Jaden, and thank you so much for watching Adolescence. Konnichiwa, 감사합니다.